Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Accessible Moms. I'm Coach Tori.
And I am Jillian. And today we are finishing off the Define Who You Are series with our last two topics, likes and values.
Yay!
So we hope that after taking the time to answer these questions, you will be able to define who you are. I know what worked for me personally with like defining my likes, dislikes, and values. I like to write, so I write it down. That way I can keep track of it and I can add on to it if I want.
Okay. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that our discussions are based solely on personal life experiences. I hope that the information that we share resonates with you. If not, maybe you know someone who could benefit from this video. Fair warning. I mentioned before that I am a sensitive person who cares about the well-being of others, especially the children and women who are experiencing similar circumstances as I have in the past. So with that being said, I may sound preachy or judgmental at times. It is not my intention to come across that way. I'm very passionate about helping others transform themselves into the people they are meant to be. If you take anything I say personally, please ask yourself why you feel that way. Why are you triggered? Know that your reaction is not about me and anything that I say. This is about you, right? So this is an opportunity for you to figure out what negative feeling, person or situation you need to work through and let go of, because we're all triggered by something. So that's for you to answer. I can't help you with that. The reason I mention this is while attending my Reiki classes, we had to take a look at what role we played in certain situations that didn't work out. And boy, did I get triggered a lot. You know, it's not easy to look at yourself and admit that you did something wrong, where you have to take ownership of your actions and reactions. We will discuss this topic of triggers and how to release them in a future video. So with that being said, let's discuss our likes. You want to start?
Yes. So I'm going to start off with I like fun places or doing fun activities. So, and I guess based on my age, people will view this as like childish or like only for kids. No. So I like indoor trampoline parks, going to the aquarium, going bowling, playing laser tag. I've never been to an escape room before. I would like to try one of those.
Oh, you're so competitive. I'm pretty sure that will be something that you will do well. Ice skating. Any fun place where you're connecting with other people is something that I enjoy. It brings out my inner child to come out to play. And it's not to say that I don't like more relaxing activities, like, say, for example, like getting a manicure, pedicure, or going out to eat, or just taking a stroll through the park. I like those too. It depends on the mood and how I'm feeling. But if I'm with a big group of people that I like and the energy is all hyped up, you best know that we're going to be having some fun. Because she's very competitive.
Yes.
We are.
I will dominate you.
Yeah. So what else?
Puzzles. I also like doing any like type of puzzle game. Anything that gets my mind going.
Yeah.
I want to say this started maybe around last year when I started getting into like, I want to say like mind well, no, okay, mind games, but not like where you're playing mind games with someone else, but games for your mind. So like Sudoku or word search or
Brain teasers.
Riddles, anything like that. I find that more enjoyable than just being on my phone and scrolling and just doing whatever the whole time. And I've noticed that since I have been doing more puzzles or puzzle activities, I've become more observant of people or situations around me. So,
do you think a lot of this has to do with how we love mysteries and watching Agatha Christie and trying to figure out,
even though those are still a little difficult, if you
not
don't
for
have,
me.
Okay, well, yes, we take our guesses and cracks at what could possibly have caused this person's demise or who did it. But in terms of like Sherlock Holmes mysteries and riddles and stuff, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I can't go that far unless I actually continue to use my brain in that sort of way. But it's still fun.
Right.
It's still fun to try and figure those things out.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like frustrated and looking at it like what am I missing? What I don't understand how someone could come up with this, but then someone else is like,
it's just easy. It just comes. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't have to just be puzzles or word search or things like that. It can just be something that you watch to get your brain working, whether you're right or not. It's working. So
yes,
we enjoy things like that. That makes our mind go off certain different directions.
And it gives me the opportunity to either say that I'm right and show off, or if she was right and I'm
always,
like, okay, I give you that.
Okay.
I also love watching cartoons or more animated shows. Not ones that are very gory or have to do with horror. I like to stay away from that because it just does not make me feel good. But anything that just makes me laugh. Like I grew up, thanks to this one, I grew up on the Boomerang channel where they had like the Smurfs, Tom and Jerry, the Flintstones, Jetsons, all
great
of that.
Cartoons.
Yes, they were the best cartoons. I grew up with that, and that's the type of silly humor that I like. And then of course, I'm not a huge anime girly, but there are some shows that I do like, and yeah.
And we have more to come, but I just want to say, someone may look at this and say, okay, that's so trivial, that's so this, but this is getting to the core of you figuring out what you like, whether you think it's small or you think it's big. It is important to go through everything, because in the end, when it comes to spending time with people, it's not necessary that you like everything the same, but it's important that you have certain things in common. Otherwise it's, I like horror. Well, I only like comedy. And then are you watching anything together? So this is something to really get you to know yourself all over again. I mean, you may know certain things, but you don't think about it. This gives you the opportunity to really know. I used to like that, but I kind of outgrew it. Not anymore. So you can discard those things. So put them off to the side, replace with something else. But so just like, we're not just going off with, lame things to talk about. Everything is important when it comes to your life and knowing who you are.
Yeah. And I do want to say as well, you might be wondering like why I still like these things and stuff. It just brings me joy. There's nothing I can really say that explains why I still like those childish things. My brothers have outgrown it, and even if I say, hey, let's watch this and this and this, they're not interested. And in a way that kind of makes me feel bad, because I'm like, well, I don't have anyone to share this with now anymore. Like, it feels like I'm just stuck in that place of childhood and everyone else has grown up, but I've come to realize it really doesn't matter anymore if I still like the things that I like.
Right.
I'm still mature, but I also know when I can let my inner child play and to indulge in things that she likes.
Yeah. I mean, there's no law, there's no rule or of when you have to stop X, Y, and Z. You know, those are the things we set for ourselves.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people choose not to continue watching cartoons or anything they feel is childish because what will the other people think? You know, and you know, if you say something to someone about, oh, I watched this, and they say, oh, that was so childish, you know, how could, listen, that's your like. It's not up to them to dictate, you know, when you should stop doing something or watching something. This is the whole point, as well as being able to say, okay, you may not like it anymore, but the little child in me is still active. And she wants to watch this and to laugh and to, you know, revisit those memories from childhood. And it's just fun. You don't need a reason. You do not need a reason at all, you know, and that's what we need to get away from, you know. People want to put you in boxes and you're this age, so you should be doing this or you should be talking about this. Nada. No.
9.
So, yeah. I mean, we will always, I don't want to say outgrow people, but our likes and dislikes change. And it's okay. You still find those things that you do have in common. Like you still have things that you like to watch, you know, with your brothers.
Yeah.
And so, so it may not be, you know, this stuff over here, but it's like, okay, let's agree then to watch this. They're compromises, you know?
Yeah.
But then, you know, you may run across someone else who likes the other thing. So now you have a new buddy, you know? Yeah. So.
What about you?
What about me? Let's see. One thing, this is going to be my first one because it's been coming to me so much. I've been talking to so many people about your generation and the little younger beings and how these poor people have no idea what real living as far as childhood could have been for them. You know, with all the electronics and everything else, they've missed out on so much. Last night we were with friends and talking about letter writing. For me, there's nothing better than sitting down, writing a letter, and the feeling that you feel, of course, if it's someone you like, you know, when sharing information and putting it down on paper and, you know, putting the stamp on. Yes, I know the stamps are expensive now, but you're not going to be doing that much writing, but start again. And not only the sending portion, the receiving. Just remember how you felt when you would receive cards or letters in the mail. I think we need to get back to that. We need to teach our kids how, whether they start off just writing their cousins, you know, or a friend who moved away, or even finding them pen pals. I heard that many teachers have started this up again with having their students find a pen pal and write them. I think it's so important. One, just to put pen to paper instead of on the computer or the phone all the time. It's just very rewarding. And I really, really wish we could get back to that. And I'm going to start, just, people who live in different cities, states, wherever, other countries that I know. And I think we should get back to that.
I agree.
Because I think it connects us in a way that text messages, emails do not. There's just a certain thing. One is like you are consciously taking time out of your day to dedicate to someone you care about. I mean, really, when you think about it, where everything is so rush, like TikTok, like scroll. The mindset is so limited. This takes time, right? Find out the type of paper you want, if you want to use stationery or just line paper, what to say. And, you're always, and this also makes you think of what the things you want to say. So it makes you go back to, when was the last time I had a great time or, did something that meant something special, right? It gives you time also then to think about yourself and for you to relive that moment. Whether it was something you're upset about and you want to get off your chest to somebody, but also if you experience something that just made you smile and happy, it brings that back to your heart, right? And you may find yourself smiling while you're writing. But it's the connection part for me. Our youngsters have been denied true social connection. We, back in the day, we would just get a group together and just walk for miles, to go to a park or to a store or whatever. And the whole time you don't see that today. You don't see that everything is planned or everything is by text. And, when they're together, we all see it at the restaurants, even at the movie theaters. They're on the phones. They're not talking. They're not communicating. So I think as much as we possibly can as parents to try to bring a sense of social connection back to them, we have to find different ways, even if it's a neighbor down the street, that your child is friends with. Write a letter. Could be a short note or something, but I tell you, when they are handed that envelope, the smile you see on their face, the energy that they exude of the happiness, there's nothing like it. So that's one thing I would like to see. And like I said, I'm going to start writing again. It's something I always loved, especially when I lived out of state or out of the country, just to receive, a letter or card from a friend. There's nothing like it. So I would love to see that.
Yeah, I know when Sebastian was still in middle school and he was friends with a girl that I was also, we had something in common with, and we were geeking out over something. So what we would do is we would have Sebastian be our go-between for our notes. So I would write a note, give it to him, he gives it to her, then she would respond, give the note to him, and I really liked that a lot. It was very fun. And it was something that I could look forward to as well. And I know I've written a few letters back to friends who have moved away when I was in elementary school that unfortunately didn't keep up. And that was also then when email came into play. And I started to get excited for that as well. Just receiving any type of personalized... Yeah. Well, email was different back then, right, for us kids who were in middle school, when you exchanged your email addresses with friends and you just wrote like you basically just wrote like you would a letter or something like that, and that brought me excitement as well.
No, it's just one line here and there by text,
or it's something professional. But yeah, no, I agree. I think letters are more personable, and it lets the other person know, hey, I hold you in this regard. I'm thinking of you. You're this important to me for me to
Take the time.
take the time to write out how many pages and then mail it to me.
Yeah.
I would love to receive letters again.
Well, you'll probably start receiving a lot of fan mail soon. Never know. Regarding your acting.
Yeah, I'm an actor, everyone. And a singer. And a writer. And a voiceover artist.
Now she wants to tell you guys all of that.
I do all of it. Okay.
Well, I guess that will bring us to our next thing of our love for movies and theater.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, yes. What was my first theater production? Was it?
The first one? Was that Tabaluga?
Well, no, that I went to go see.
Oh.
Was it Tanz der Vampir? Or was it Miss Saigon? I can't remember.
Oh.
Anyway, it was Tanz der Vampir. Okay, so Tanz der Vampir is a German musical that's called Dance of the Vampires. It's basically a retelling of Dracula, and I went to go see that in Hamburg, Germany, as a birthday present, and it was a live orchestra. There was barely anyone in the theater too, which I was surprised about, but we got to see everything clearly from where we were sitting. And during the whole show, I was just like leaning in my seat, and I just could not take my eyes off of everyone in the on the stage. And that's when I knew, or it solidified for me, this is what I want to do. Acting is what I want to do, to be placed in a different world, playing a different character and telling that story, but also having the other elements come into play as well. With the live music, that just made it even better. The dancing as well. I mean, I'm not a dancer, far from it, but I still thought that was amazing. And the singing too, because I like to sing, and I'm like, one day I'm also gonna be able to hit those high notes as well. And it gives me the goosebumps, and it just fills me up with this.
It's undescribable.
Yes, this undescribable feeling.
And to tell the truth, that's when she says she knew,
Mm-hmm.
but she's known since she was 3 or 4 years old.
I was a baby.
She knew, I knew, and yeah, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very good too, just to let you know.
Yes.
So we enjoy plays, musicals, and of course movies.
Mm-hmm.
Movies.
A lot of like classic, like old classic ones. Black and white too, I think. I'm very much drawn to. Especially with the black and white like comedies back then. Like again, the slapstick that I love that, because it's similar to, like I said, with the old cartoons with Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. That old comedy, nothing can replace that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's the one thing I have to say. My children always said they loved my movies from back in the day, the cartoons, the music, that just everything was better then. And I mean, I have to agree. There are certain things today that are good, but I mean, we had it going on, I think.
Yes. I can go again then.
Okay.
Another one of my likes, video games and just games in general. So like board games or like charades or something like that. Yeah, I loved playing a lot of Wii and Nintendo DS when I was younger. And I was very competitive, or I am very competitive. I was and I am very competitive.
That's the first step. Acknowledging.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Admitting to oneself. No.
yes. I would always beat her in the Wii Play games. Every single time. It doesn't matter how many times.
Atari, come back.
And I know this is a story that a lot of people from my generation or even before can resonate to, is when you're lying down in bed, supposed to go to sleep before school, and whether you have siblings or not, and you whip out the Nintendo DS and you're playing in the dark, and then you hear your parents' footsteps outside the door and you quickly hide your console under your bed or something, and then they open the door and they're like, I thought I heard something, and then frickin' Mario rats on you with his bye-bye.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, you kids think that we didn't do any of this stuff. You know, we may have had the flashlights with a book or something, or a magazine under the blanket. I mean, they think that they started everything.
It's different. But. Okay, I didn't say that, but like in terms of like the consoles.
Yeah.
But you all did have, every generation had their own
kids are sneaky.
Their own sneaky
when they don't want to go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, and the parents always know. And she would say, yeah, but you never came in. You didn't come in that much. You didn't bust us that much. I'm like, you know what? I could have. I knew what was going on, but I was tired. You know, it was a long day with 3 kids. You know, you have to choose your battles, as we say. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, if they're tired for school tomorrow, then they have to deal with the consequences. That's where my mind was going. I'm not going to get up every single night knowing they're sneaking. I guess I could have gotten a cage and locked them up, but no, suffer the consequences.
Yeah. Those were the good old days. I miss that. And yes, I love reading and books. I don't do it as much, or I haven't been doing it as much, but I want to get back into it. I read a ton. Again, this has to do with when technology came into play. I used to read. Yeah, it really was when technology came into play. I did read a lot of books when I was younger, and I kind of want to flex. What was my reading level when I was...
Wow. Well, before kindergarten, you were reading. You were reading Dick and Jane books before kindergarten. I remember.
Well, is that like a second grade reading?
I don't know.
Okay,
but anyway. You were always just reading.
My vocabulary and stuff was already much advanced when I was younger. And unfortunately, I feel it has declined a bit with me not reading as much, but then also with technology, because that then takes away from you, again, working your brain. The books may not be a puzzle, but the words start to seep into your mind. And yeah.
We would go to the store, to the grocery store. I had a van back then, and this one would bring at least 6 books into the car. And I mean, it was hard to even get her out of her seat to go into the store because she was so engrossed in her books. And I just thought it was the greatest thing. But she really, truly was. But again, as she said, this was really before the electronics took over. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Was that middle school when it became more?
Yeah. I want to say.
I mean, she read and read and read. And I mean, we need to get more kids going back to the library, right? And reading, because, you know, where books can take your mind. Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, the reason so many people are comfortable in their space and not, you know, curious or want to travel is because the brain hasn't been worked to want to experience something different. We read so much about, Ireland or different countries, and, you can visualize, of course you can see it on TV and things of that sort too, but your own mind visualizing these things, I think gave me the sense and the desire to want to travel, to see these places for myself. And I know a lot of kids do not like reading, but reading can really expand and open your mind to so much more. Because like I said, you're working your brain. When you're reading, you're not seeing, like watching a documentary or a movie or something. Your brain is setting the tone of the scene, visually for you. And, listen, just like babies with pacifiers, parents say they have a hard time stopping their children from using the pacifier. And my thought was always, well, who bought them? The baby didn't buy them. You can take them away. And if it's something you want to use when they're sleeping to soothe them, and give it to them at that point. But I feel like electronics as well, you can give it to them at certain times. They don't need 24/7 access to it. And maybe even as, building time, you can say, okay, you are required to read one book. You set how long they read per day or however long. But I think we need to get back to having our children read books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I completely agree with that. The amount of videos that I see like on social media where someone comes up and says, hey, read this sentence, and then they can't even pronounce the words like correct, like their reading level, or pronouncing the words. They don't even know what the word is. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is this how far we've come? So, but yeah.
Okay. So we'll stop the video here and we will return with more likes. So we hope you enjoyed this portion.
Yep. And we will see you in part 2.
Thank you. Please like,
share,
and subscribe. Bye.
Toodles.